WWE fans should love what Bayley is doing on television right now. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly why they should love it and why WWE is doing right by Bayley. Because coming out of SummerSlam, well, it wasn't very high on WWE creative for Bayley, because after winning the Queen of the Ring tournament, earning the right to challenge for the Women's Championship at SummerSlam, Nia Jax was the one that dethroned Bayley to win the Women's Championship. Bayley winning the Royal Rumble earlier this year, imploding a faction in which she made with Damage Control, feuding, challenging, and dethroning Io Sky as the Women's Champion at WrestleMania 40, and then proceeding to have multiple title defenses across television premium live events. Bayley had a heck of a 2024. Now, things have changed in a drastic way. Bayley, she was off television coming out of SummerSlam, only to return on the August 30th episode of Friday Night SmackDown on Fox. And now we know what is next for Bayley, and I could not be any happier. Bayley is one of the pioneers of modern-day pro wrestling. She was part of the evolution, the revolution, and now the modern era that I like to tout. Nia Jax is someone in which I did not think was the right person to dethrone Bayley. I did not think it, but you have to give Nia Jax credit. She has done a lot better in her WWE run right now since returning to the company under Paul Triple H Levesque. She's gotten better on promos. She's gotten better in the ring. She's not as careless as she once was. And Bayley, she was able to put that on a showcase and put a spotlight on it and show what everyone can see now with Nia Jax. This is what I love about WWE's booking. So I mentioned the August 30th episode of SmackDown. Nia Jax was defending her championship in the main event in like a hardcore / street fight type of match. And it was Tiffany Stratton who ran out, of course, Miss Money in the Bank, Tiffany Stratton, who also has a past history with Bayley. They feuded a little bit earlier this year for the women's title. Tiffany Stratton has aligned herself with Nia Jax as of late, right? And has teased that she's going to cash in Money in the Bank when the time is right. Well, Bayley made the save and chased off Tiffany Stratton. So what's going to happen is, and I love this, so you had a long dominant champion in Bayley. She loses the championship at SummerSlam. I don't necessarily like the fact that Nia Jax was the one to do it, but I understand that it's better for a babyface to chase after a title than have a long reign as champion for a babyface. You're going to revisit Bayley versus Nia Jax, with Bayley most likely going to dethrone Nia Jax in the next few months. But in the meantime, they're putting Bayley on television in a notable feud against a notable star in a notable program. And more importantly, Bayley is going to get her win back. What do I mean by that? Well, she's going to feud with Tiffany Stratton. And since Stratton is a heel, who is the only reason that she's associating with Nia Jax right now is because she has a Money in the Bank and she wants to be close, so when the time is right that she can cash in, Bayley can feud with Tiffany Stratton. She can beat Tiffany Stratton. She can get back in the win column. She can get some momentum. She can be credible again. And then she can go and feud with Nia Jax. And then she can go and challenge and ultimately win back the Women's Championship, whether that be at Survivor Series or Crown Jewel or Royal Rumble or even perhaps WrestleMania. That is good booking. That is what I love about what WWE is doing with Bayley. Bayley has been around forever. We've seen the evolution in her character. We've seen the good and the bad. We've seen her as a babyface. We've seen her as a heel. We've seen her as a top star and just a jabron, right? Like, we've seen it all with Bayley. And if they insist on having Nia Jax as a champion right now, but the ultimate payoff, which seemingly is what they're doing, is Bayley regaining the championship and doing so in a notable way, then I think that's a wonderful thing to do. I think that is something in which you have to praise WWE for doing. They've booked Bayley very well over the last several months, right? I love the fact that they gave her the opportunity to, and it was really Triple H, because, and she's talked about this in the past, Vince McMahon was unwilling to give Bayley her own faction. And she had pitched it for years, and they did not want to give it to her. And I love the fact that not only did WWE and Triple H give her the opportunity to have a faction, but more importantly, they gave her the opportunity to bring in stars in which she wanted to work with. And in case in point, think about this. They brought back Io Sky, who was leaving the company. They brought back Dakota Kai, who had already been fired months beforehand. They later brought back Asuka and from the sidelines because she was doing nothing. They reinvented that character, and they gave her something notable, and they gave her something meaningful. They brought back Kairi Sane, who was in Japan, okay, and they built up this super faction, and it was a lot of freaking fun. I really, really enjoyed it. And the fact that they gave her her own faction, they gave her a women's Royal Rumble win, something which she's never achieved before. The fact that she got a WrestleMania title match and, oh, by the way, beat someone who was very vital in the Damage Control faction and was able to play out the Damage Control storyline over the course of years. It took years for a payoff of this storyline. I think that's tremendous. I think that is something in which WWE fans should give Triple H and WWE a lot of credit for. That is something special. You do not get to see that very often, where you have a storyline in which someone pitched, you play it out for years, and then you get an ultimate payoff, right? Like, that's very, very rare. And I think you have to respect the fact that Triple H believes in Bayley enough, believes in Io Sky and Asuka and Kairi Sane and Dakota Kai, and they gave her the opportunity to see this thing through. I think that is commendable. I think that is something in which is just